everyone, in this session we are going to discuss the topic NIRF ranking, which is a very important topic from higher education. So first and foremost, you should know what is the full form of NIRF. We have got questions in that respect in the previous exams, and also you can expect the full form of NIRF in the coming exams as well. So first and foremost, we will be looking at that particular point. So NIRF stands for National Institutional Ranking Framework. So NIRF stands for, or its full form is National Institutional Ranking Framework, a very important point. So please do remember this. So what do you mean by this NIRF, or what is this framework is all about? So this is a unique methodology that was sanctioned by the Ministry of Human Resource and Development as a way to rank institutions based on a set of standard criteria. So this is basically a ranking framework which was actually sanctioned or launched by the Ministry of Human Resource and Development. And what is the basic idea behind this particular framework? It is actually a methodology that ranks the various institutions of our country based on a set of criteria, or based on a set of standard criteria. So this framework was launched in the year 2015, and it has a vision of fostering excellence among the various institutes across the country. So why we need this kind of a ranking, or why these framework or this particular framework is ranking the institutions of the countries? Basically, it focuses on the excellence of the institute. So its vision or the objective is fostering excellence among the various institutes across the country, and it was launched in 2015. So this is an annual ranking. So every year we have a ranking, or they have or in every year they will be ranking various institutions based on different categories, and they have different parameters, which is basically the foundation of how they are ranking different institutions in the different categories. So as I have already mentioned, if you consider this particular framework or this particular ranking, they have various categories that are coming under this. So they have various categories under which they will be ranking the various institutions of the country. So here you have the various categories which are actually focused, or which are actually concerned under this framework. Which are the categories? We have overall ranking, university, colleges, engineering, management, pharmacy, law, medical, architecture, dental and research. So basically we have 11 different categories in which they will be ranking the institutions. So what is the idea behind this? So we will be having an overall ranking. Then we will be having a university ranking, which they will be ranking the various universities based on these set standard criteria, and then we have colleges, engineering, management. These are the various categories in which we have different rankings that comes under NIRF. So as I have already mentioned, if you consider this particular ranking framework, they have certain parameters that are basically the foundation, or why or in what basis they are categorizing, or in what basis they are ranking these institutions. That is very important, right? So the criteria or the parameters that they are concerned with, or they are focusing when they are ranking these institutions are these. So, these are the parameters that comes under this NIRF ranking or this particular framework, which includes teaching, learning and resources. So, that is one important parameter. So, they will be evaluating the teaching, learning and resources of the institutions, and that's how they are giving them different marks or different ranks as such. So, teaching, learning and resources, then we have research and professional practice, graduation outcomes, outreach and inclusivity. So, what do you mean by outreach and inclusivity? Whether these institutes or institutions are actually including people from the various sectors of the society, whether they are including the minor communities or the discriminated communities in them, and also if they are concerned about the differently abled people in their institutes. All these things will be considered under outreach and inclusivity. And then we have peer perception. So, what do you mean by peer perception? It is the perception of different stakeholders, how the different institutions of the country, especially the premium institutions and also the other stakeholders of the country are reviewing about this particular institute. That is again a very important thing. And what is the significance of this peer perception? So, basically if we need to have a very good report when it comes to this peer perception, you should have a very good rapport with the different organizations or the reputed institutions of the country. So, basically it actually creates a platform in order to make a very good relationship between the different institutions or the different organizations that are concerned about education in the country. So, that is how this peer perception is working. So, these are the different parameters that you have to consider. We have teaching, learning and resources, research and professional practice, graduation outcomes, outreach and inclusivity and peer perception. So, these are some of the most important things that you have to consider when it comes to NIRF. We have discussed about the full form and we have discussed about the various categories under which we have this ranking, and also we focused on the different parameters that are considered when these institutions are ranked. So, now we are going to look at a few questions that were asked from this particular area in the December 2020 and June 2021 MERS cycles. So, here I have the first question: what does NIRF stand for? So, as I have already mentioned, this is something that you have to remember. It's a very important perspective in which you have to understand this framework, this ranking framework. So, what is NIRF, or what is the full form of NIRF? That is National Institutional Ranking Framework, right. So, National Institutional Ranking Framework is option C. So, the right answer for this question is obviously option C. Moving to the next question, which of the following is not a parameter for ranking according to NIRF? And you have the options: teaching, learning and resource, campus placement, research and professional practice, outreach and inclusivity. So, what is the question here? Among these options, which is not a parameter? That is the question. So, you have to focus on that particular note that is mentioned there. So, teaching, learning and resource, yeah, that is a parameter. Research and professional practice, again that is a parameter. And then we have outreach and inclusivity, we have discussed about that as well. So, campus placement is not a parameter for ranking this different institutions according to NIRF. In that respect, the right answer is option B, campus placement. Alright, so now we have discussed about the various aspects in which you have to understand this ranking framework, that is NIRF. And if you like to know the various institutions that comes under this ranking or how these different categories are ranked, you can just check NIRF official website for that. The link for that is available in the description box. So, if you access that particular website, you can see the ranking 2022 NIRF ranking, in which you have various categories available there, and if you are going to look at overall ranking, you can see the various institutions that comes under that particular category overall, and 1, 2, 3, 4 like that we can identify the various rankings as well. So, this link is available, the NIRF official website, where you can actually access the ranking, especially 2022 NIRF ranking, that is available in the description box. So, these are the various perspectives in which you need to understand this particular idea, that is NIRF ranking. So, thanks for watching and happy learning.